Challenge 4, Adobe Premiere Pro News Report. Battle preparations. In this tutorial, you will be creating a news report about your up-and-coming friendly battles. Your news report must be only 20 seconds long. Your Monster Warrior will be interviewed by you in the news report, and you will be creating the Monster Warrior's voice in Premiere Pro. To open Premiere Pro, click in the search, type in Prem. When Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018 comes up, right-click on it, pin to your taskbar. You can see it at the bottom down here. I usually drag all my Adobe programs near each other, so just so they're easier to find. Double-click on Premiere Pro to open it. Click on New Project. Call the project by your last name, News Report. Click on Browse. This will let you save your files to a location that's easy for you to find. I've saved mine into my Challenge 4 Premiere Pro folder that I've created to contain all my other challenge folders. Make sure you select the folder and then click on OK. When the desktop opens, make sure Assembly is selected. Go to File, Import. In your video folder, the videos that you filmed earlier in front of the green screen should be here. Click on the top video, hold Shift key down and click on the bottom video. It selects all the videos. Click on Open. You should now see your clips here in your viewer. Down the bottom on the right here is your timeline. All the clips are selected, so you can drag them onto your timeline. My clips are all imported in, but I'm going to move them so there's a small gap between each clip. I'm going to start at the end and move them along. Let's preview the first clip. Click on Play.
Standing here on the... So I'm standing here on the front lines. I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues. Yep.
Now, as you just saw, there's a few bits I need to edit out from that clip. So I'm going to move my playhead, which is this blue line here, back to the beginning. I'm going to zoom in on my clip. I'm going to push play again.
Standing here on the... So I'm standing here on the front lines. Yep. I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation.
So I went past a bit that was quite good, so I'm just going to zoom back to that, or move my playhead back to that.
I'm standing here on...
So that's about where I want to crop my clip to. I need to zoom out again, move my cursor to the beginning of the clip on the timeline, and you can see it's turned red. I can slide that into the playhead and it's cropped that section out that had the errors in it. Push play to check.
I'm standing here on the front lines.
And I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to move the whole clip back to the beginning. I'm going to duplicate this clip because I want to edit some more bits out in the middle. While it's selected, click on Ctrl-C, move the playhead to the location you want to paste the clip to, and click Ctrl-V. I've got a copy of the first clip. Go back to the first clip, play it again.
I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation.
So Miss Tor's made another blooper here. I'm going to zoom in, go back to near where she finished, pause, zoom out, go to the end of the clip, drag it in, and it's cropped. Move the playhead to the beginning to check it.
I'm standing here on the front lines.
I'm happy with that. Let's edit the second clip. Play the clip.
I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation.
So I need to crop around here. So I'm going to zoom in, move my playhead back,
Where there is much
and I might zoom in a little more. and it's about here.
Where there is
Here. So I'm happy with that location there. Zoom out, crop the clip, push play.
where there is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues.
I need to crop it again, just near where she finishes speaking.
Reds and the Blues.
Pause. You can pause and play by pushing the space bar as well. Drag that clip in. Go back to the beginning of that clip. Preview it.
Where there is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues.
I'm happy with that. I'm going to move those clips closer together but leave a small gap. I'm going to edit the rest of my clips and then I'll join you shortly. So I've cropped all my clips and I've got them in the right order. Let's preview what I've got. Make sure that you've left a little gap between each of your clips. It just makes it a little easier when it comes to editing later on.
Thanks, Dr. Townsend. I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues. With me, I have Monster Warrior 1. Can you predict a winner? I'm Miss Tor from St. Cat's News. Back to you, Dr. Townsend.
You may have noticed that your green screen doesn't quite fill the frame. We're now going to learn how to crop the frame so that it's just green screen and Miss Tor. To do that, click on the Effects tab in the top row and then click on Effects on the right hand side. You should have a lot of small folders open up. We're now going to open the Video Effects folder. And we're going to scroll down and look for Transform and open the Transform folder. In the Transform folder, we can see another tab called Crop. Click on Crop and then drag it to your first clip in your timeline. You also need to make sure that your Effects Controls tab is open. If you can't see it, you can click on these arrows here, or it should be in the top left corner. I'm going to click on Effects Controls. Make sure you have your clip selected that you've just applied the crop transformation to, and you notice there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. We want to focus on this section here so we can crop our footage. Where it says 0.0% in blue, you can use that to slide up and down. So I'm going to slide till I've just cropped out the left edge of my screen. I'm going to apply a similar transformation to the right side. So I'm looking for right, I hover over the percentage and I can slide it backwards and forwards, and I just want to crop it out here. Let's preview the clip.
Thanks, Dr. Townsend. I'm standing here on the...
So that one worked well. Let's do the same thing to all our other clips. Select the clip you wish to apply the transformation to. Select the transformation, in this case crop. Drag it onto your clip. Go to the beginning, drag the playhead to the beginning of the clip. Make sure Effects Controls are selected. So I've got the playhead over the clip I want to edit. I'm moving the slider backwards and forwards. I go to the right side, do the same thing on the right side. And now I'm going to preview the clip.
Standing here on the front lines where there...
Let's go ahead and edit all our clips.
Thanks, Dr. Townsend. I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues. With me, I have Monster Warrior 1. Can you predict a winner? I'm Miss Tor from St. Cat's News. Back to you, Dr. Townsend.
I was pretty happy with that, but I did notice that in clip 3, here, where I haven't cropped close enough. So I'm going to go back to this clip, make sure I've selected the clips on the timeline, and it's on the right hand side, so I just want to move that in just so it crops out the rest of that white. And I'm just going to preview that clip.
There is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues.
And that's much better. While we're still in the effects view, we're going to apply another transformation. We're going to open up the Video Effects folder again, and then we're going to look for the Keying folder. Open the Keying folder and then look for Ultra Key. I'm going to drag the Ultra Key onto the first piece of footage. In the Effects control over here on the left, close the crop option, and we're going to scroll down until we find Ultra Key. So Ultra Key is here, and I've got a few options under Ultra Key. I'm going to select the mouse dropper tool, and my key color here is black. If I wish to change it, I can change it to any color I want, but I'm happy with black at the moment. Click on the eyedropper and then click on the green background. And it should change most of the green background to black. You can see there's a few things that are wrong here, but Mistour looks quite good. So we're going to do some more fine tuning to make sure that our black is black. Back over on the left in the Ultra Key dialog, we're going to click on the settings option, and we're going to use the drop down menu to select aggressive. And you can see most of it is black now. We're also going to open the matte generation options by clicking on the arrow, and then we're going to go to the shadow section, and we're going to move the mouse to slide it to the left and right. Going to the right makes it lighter, going to the left makes it darker. So I want to make sure that my whole background is black. Go ahead and complete this for the rest of your footage. We're now going to add in a background, and we're going to use the same blue sky that we used in our Photoshop tutorial. So go to your File menu, click on Import, go to where your image has been saved, click on the image that you want to import, click on Open. I'm going to click back on the Assembly tab at the top. I can see my blue sky images here. I'm going to go back to my timeline and drag my playhead all the way back to the beginning. You may need to zoom out to do that, but make sure it's at 0. Then grab your blue sky image and drag it in so it's just above your first clip. Adjust the length of the image so it's the same length as your first clip. So I'm going to zoom in to do that. Grab the end of it and then just slide it in. So here it is here. It's the same length as my first clip. Click on the Effects tab at the top. Then in making sure Effects Control is selected, open up the Motion tab. Click on Scale and some blue handles should appear on your image. Drag those handles so that the image fills your screen. I'm going to go back to my timeline now and click on this video footage here. My first clip, I'm going to drag it so it goes above the blue sky picture. And now I should see Mistour in front of the blue sky image. You can see I've got a little bit of shadow appearing here, so I'm going to go back to the Ultra Key and just adjust them a little bit more until that shadow has disappeared. And you can see now that Mistour is standing perfectly in the foreground of my blue sky image. I'm going to go ahead and do exactly the same thing on all my other clips. We can also do some other things. With the video clip still selected, I can actually reposition Mistour because I've had to edit half her elbow off because it wasn't in front of the green screen. If I close the Ultra Key and scroll up again and click on Position, I can look at moving Mistour up or down. And I don't really want to move her up and down, but I do want to move her left or right. So you can see by sliding across, I can actually edit Mistour so that her elbow is just off screen. I'm going to move the playhead along and check my other clips. This clip is fine. This clip looks fine. This clip could do with a bit of editing, so I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure I select the video, go to Position, and then I'm going to just move the clip so it's right over to the side. And I'm going to check this clip. And the first clip.
Thanks, Dr. Townsend.
Now I'm going to add in my Monster Warrior. I need to go back to Illustrator and open my Monster Warrior. This is where I've saved my Monster Warrior. Remember, we're opening the color version, so select the color version and click on Open. We're going to select the background and delete it, and I just have my Monster Warrior here now. I'm going to go to the File menu, click on Export, Export As. I want to make sure I select PNG from this bottom menu here. I'm going to make sure I save it into the same file, so I'm going to actually go back to my Premiere Pro, open up this folder, and I'm saving it as Monster Color PNG. I'm going to click on Export, and I want to make sure that the background color is transparent. Click OK. Now I'm back in Premiere Pro. Click on Assembly again. Now we're going to File, Import, find your PNG file here, select the PNG file and click on Open, and you can now see it here. Before we go any further, we're just going to move our footage around and just leave spaces where we want our monster to appear. So let's preview our footage.
Thanks, Dr. Townsend. I'm standing here on the front line.
I can move these clips closer here. Make sure you move Blue Sky along as well.
Where there is much anticipation.
I can move these clips along.
For the battle between the Reds and the Blues. With me,
I can move these clips along. So this gap I need to keep because they're going to put a picture of my monster warrior in this place here.
Can you predict a winner? I'm Miss Torp.
I'm going to leave another gap here because I'm going to get a response from my monster. I want to drag my monster onto my timeline, but I need to make sure there's space available. By using these handles here on the right hand side of the screen, I can move my lines to make them fatter or skinnier. So I've made mine quite thin here. Move your playhead so it's at the beginning of the timeline. Get your monster picture and drag it onto your timeline onto V4. Don't worry if there's no V4 there, it will appear as you move your monster into place. Drag your monster image and make it as long as the first few clips. You can see that the monster is on screen in front of the blue sky, but it's quite small, so we need to change the size of it. Make sure the monster PNG layer is selected. Go up to the top row and click on Effects. In the Effects controls, we want to select Scale. You should see some handles appear on your monster. You can adjust it by pulling on the handles, or you can use the slider scale again, and if you move it left to right it'll adjust it. I'm going to make my monster bigger and move it over to one side. Let's preview that. I'm going to go back and do some fine tuning. I'm just going to move the monster a little bit closer and make him a little bit bigger. Just make sure my monster's standing on the ground. Go back to Assembly. Select the monster again. Drag him onto this space here and resize him. Do the same for this space here and resize him. So now if we scrub through, we should see our monster, but he's not the right size. Move the playhead into position, click on Effects, go to Scale, the handles, make your monster larger, move it into position. Select the other monster, move the playhead along, go to Scale again, resize your monster and position it where you want it to go. We now need to put our monsters into these gaps we've left here. So I'm going to move my playhead back to the first gap here. Select these clips by putting a box around them. You can see they're white, and then we want to move them a bit further away. Go back to your monster in the assembly panel. Go back to your monster in the media browser. Drag your monster down. Move your playhead along a bit further to the end of the other clip. Move the whole thing so you can see it. Select these clips, move them further away, grab the monster again and drag it into this space here. We need to add blue sky into both of these clips here so it looks consistent with the rest of them. So I'm going to zoom out a little and then right along. I'm going to find my blue sky, my most recent one. I'm actually going to stretch that blue sky to here and then preview what I've got. So I have monster on the blue sky, but I need to select the monster, Go back to effects, go to scale, and then zoom right in on my monster and make it the full size of the picture. Move my blue sky so it's the same length. Move these clips up a little closer. And now I'm going to just scrub through. I've got Miss Tor talking to the monster, but I need to add another blue sky in near this monster here. We're now going to add the monster's voice, and we're going to record the audio directly into Premiere Pro. Move your playhead to your first gap. So you've got spaces here. So this is where my first monster is, and he'll be answering a question from Miss Tor. Go to audio at the top. You need to find the audio controls, and to do that you need to click on these arrows here, and we're looking for audio track mixer video 4, and you'll see you've got these audio tracks here. So our audio is actually going to go into audio 2, which is this row down here. So we select this one, which is audio 2. We need to click on the R for record, and then when we want to record we click on here and then we push play. It's my absolute pleasure to be here today, Miss Tor. Thanks for having me. So my audio ends about here. I'm actually going to move my clips to make them the same length. Then I'm going to select these clips by putting a small box around them and move them up to here. Move your playhead to where you want to start the recording. Make sure R is selected. Make sure you push the red dot to record. Of course, Miss Tor. Blues to win. I'm going to move my audio in line with the other clips. I'm going to select all the clips, move them so they join up to the previous clips they've recorded. Deselect the clips and move the clips one at a time to make them the same length as the voiceover. Then I'm going to select the final clips and move them all on. So now I should have a seamless production. Go back and select your first audio clip. Go up the top to effects, and this time in the audio effects we're looking for pitch shifter. So scroll down and find pitch shifter. Drag that onto your audio clip and you should see a new set of controls coming up here. We're going to choose custom setup, click on edit, and you're going to be able to move these two dots here along and then preview your audio.
It's my absolute pleasure to be here today, Miss Tor. Thanks for having me.
So I'm pretty happy with the sound of that. I'm just going to check where I'm on, just above -10 there, and I'm just on 0 here. I'm going to apply the same effect to the other voiceover.
Of course, Miss Tor. Blues to win.
Happy with that. So the other thing I need to adjust is the volume, because when I play my clips from here,
I have Monster Warrior 1.
It's my absolute...
the monster is much louder than Miss Tor. So select the clip, go back over here to the volume, and we're looking at the decibels, and we want to reduce the decibels by using the slider and moving it to the left. Do a preview.
Monster Warrior 1.
Too low, bring it back up again.
Monster Warrior 1.
It's my absolute pleasure to be here.
Let's save our clip. File, save as, and mine is Wilkins News Report, and I'm just going to save it in Challenge 4. Save. We're going to add some titles now for when the monster in this location here has his close-up, and we'll use the same title in this location here. So move your playhead to where you'd like the title to start. Click on graphics at the top, click on browse. Then we're going to go for lower thirds, so double click on that folder to open it. You're looking for bold lower third caption. Select it and then drag it into your timeline where the playhead is, but it should go onto a line in the timeline just above where you've already put your monster. I'm going to resize it so it matches the size of the other clips. Move your playhead along and you should see there's a space here for a caption. I'm going to double click in here, and my monster is called Monster Warrior 1. I can do some adjustments to that. So if I highlight the text, I can go over here into my text options, scroll down a little lower, and then I've got some options to move it to the left, to the center, to the right, or the opposite. I can also change the color of my text. So if I click in here, the color picker comes up, click on OK, and my text will be black now. So I'm actually going to move my title just so it's in the middle down here, and I'm also going to make the font a little bigger. To do that, I click on T for text, highlight my text, and then I can go to the font sizes over here, and there's a slider here that enables me to move the font size up and down by sliding left to right. I'm going to make sure mine is here, use the selection tool, and then just center it in the front here. Take your playhead back to the beginning of the timeline, and we're going to add in some transitions. So we're going to click on Effects again, and we're not looking for audio effects, so we'll close that menu. We're looking for video transitions and then dissolve. In dissolve, we want to use the dip to black effect, and you need to apply that effect to the beginning and the end of your video, but you need to apply it to everything that's in a video layer. So here at the end, I will apply it to here, to this one, and to this one. The other two are audio, so they don't need the same effect. I'm going to do the same thing at the beginning of my video. So now when I preview,
Thanks, Dr. Townsend. I'm standing here on the front lines where there is much anticipation for the battle between the Reds and the Blues. With me, I have Monster Warrior 1.
It's my absolute pleasure to lead you to the last call. Thanks for having me.
Can you predict a winner?
Of course, Miss Toll. Who is to win?
I'm Miss Tor from St. Cat's News. Back to you, Dr. Townsend.
the last thing left to do is export your video. To export your file, go to the File menu, find Export, select Media. You should get a dialog box that comes up looking like this. Click on the blue writing here. Choose the folder that you want yours to go into. So I want mine in my Challenge 4 Premiere Pro folder. Open that up. I'm going to call the video my name, Monster News, and click on Save. So I've told my computer what I want to call the file and where I want to save it. I now just click on Export. Once it's completed, go to where you've saved it just to check and make sure it's there. You should be able to preview it from here. Also make sure that you save this file that you've been working on in Premiere Pro. File, Save. You can close this and your teacher will tell you how to hand in your file.